Hey y'all, if you're a mom and you're on the housing choice voucher, you want to stay here and listen to me. My neighbor just received a letter. I seen the letter personally, that there is no funds for the Section 8 voucher. Her voucher will end in December. This ain't a game, y'all. This is really happening. She got a letter stating her Section 8 voucher is ending in December because there is no funding. Y'all, if you have the Section 8 voucher, if you're on that program, get your shit together. I don't know what we need to do. We need to band together, live with family, save your money up. I don't know, but something has to be done before the world goes to fucking shit, you know? I'm not sure if this is something that she's gotten because of the government shutdown or if the funding is really not there. But y'all, she has until December to move or pay full rent. Be safe out there, y'all. We're canceling motherfucking Christmas. Peace, love, and hair grease.
Toward tonight, a major change to the nation's housing safety net. The federal government will begin winding down the Section 8 voucher program over the next year, part of its larger reopening plan. Our Lauren Ramos reports on what that means for families and local governments. Advocates warn.
So this table above me shows the 2025 funding for the Section 8 program, what the president has requested, the 2026 proposed funding through the House and the Senate. Obviously, Congress hasn't figured themselves out yet, so none of this is fine. But this was published back in July of 2025 when the House and the Senate were going through the appropriations process. The current administration wants to basically get rid of Section 8. That is actually in Project 2025. They want to state block grant it and send it back to the states to handle. However, based off of the 2026 House and Senate funding proposals, that's not going to happen. What you can see is that the Senate's funding proposal is higher for the Section 8 program than the House's funding proposal. So neither one is, well, the Senate's is slightly higher than what the current 2025 budget is. The House is lower than what the 2025 funding is. So what it ends up being, I'm not sure. What we can tell from this is that Section 8 is not going away in 2026. So as I hear more and things happen, we'll see how things progress. Thanks.
So breaking news, y'all. Section 8 benefits funds will be cut out in the middle of November. After that is funded out and ran out, there will be no more Section 8. So we're dealing with no food stamps for families that are in need. Section 8 being gone, no traveling, it's only going to get worse. And before y'all know it, they're going to take away housing. Do y'all not know how many elderly people is on housing? How many low-income people is on housing in Section 8? Meaning there's going to be kids homeless. They already are going to be starving nowadays because there are no food stamps. And jobs are not hiring. People can't get jobs. You know, it's just so much going on in the world right now. And sometimes I just be thanking God that I am in position to not have to depend on this government shit.
If you are on Section 8 housing, that means you get a voucher, you pay one part, and the housing authority pays the other. If you are on Section 8, let me know, have y'all gotten any letters saying that your voucher will end in December or in any time? Now, y'all already know I'm a South Carolinian. So I just saw this video on TikTok where this girl comes out and say, hey, moms on Section 8, get your shit together because my friend just got her letter. And yes, she says she saw it. The letter stated that in December, your voucher will end because the funds are running out or there's no more funds. However, I don't know what part of South Carolina she is in because I know several people in Greenville, South Carolina that just got on the Section 8 list because they just opened up the list once again for families that's struggling. So y'all let me know if y'all have heard or have y'all seen a letter or have your caseworker said anything. Because last time I made a post about Section 8, the lady is a caseworker. She said that in Georgia, there will be no funds paid to your rent because of the shutdown. And they will continue after the shutdown. Last time I talked to South Carolina, they said that they haven't heard anything about that. But I only called the Greenville Housing Authority. I don't know about anybody else. But do what you have to do. If you got children at work, hey, you're going to have to start paying this. If you don't have a job, maybe let's see what we can do to get some income coming in. Get back with that old thing, I guess. I mean, I don't know. But nobody should be laying around nobody's house. I don't care if you don't make that much money. You should be contributing to somebody's bill. I done had 2 folks tell me that, okay, I pay all the bills, but yes, I have this person staying with me, and they just don't make that much money. I don't care. It's hard out here. I don't know nowhere where you can stay for free. You have to pay something, even based on income. You have to pay something. And y'all dead wrong out here for staying at folks' house and ain't paying no bills. Buying food is one thing, but you still gotta pay for that roof over your head. The light bill, the water bill, the heating bill. Especially if you getting EBT talking about, well, I put food in here. Food ain't gonna keep no roof over your head, baby. I had 2 men tell me this recently. Ladies, we gotta do better. Help your partner out. Help your roommate out. Help your friend out. Help your family members out. Help where you lay your head at, please. Cost of living is high, and it's gonna take multiple incomes to pay these bills. And for you to have your peace of mind, your sanity. Ladies, stop letting these men lay in y'all house and not paying y'all bills and y'all struggling. Put them out. It's cold outside. I bet they get a job then and come back and help you. Stop saying, oh, them my cheering daddy. So he don't give a fuck about you or them damn cheering. But he laying in there rent free while you over there struggling. Wonder when that dang on EBT gonna come back out. It's time to get a backup plan. Shit getting real out here. And it's
reporting
cold.
that came out from HUD that said they will be paying the subsidies to the housing authorities for the Section 8 program in the month of December. So if you've been worried about that, it seems like...
You wasn't laying down with Tom, Dick, and Harry, you wouldn't have no worries. You would have a good man at home, taking care of the bills and you as he should. But instead, you want to be in the street, in the club, bouncing and throwing it all in a circle and meeting whoever just to come lay between your legs, give you a baby, then he gone. And then you expect for government to give a damn about you? You need to do something different with your life and start worrying about if the government is going to assist you with certain things that you feel as though you need to survive in life. He don't owe you nothing. Stop reporting them. Stop. I seen a lady in my comments today talking about, we working to get you blocked off of TikTok right now. You always got something to say about us on Section 8. Well, do something different with your life, lady. If it bothers you that much and you sick of people talking about you like a dog, then do something about it. That's all I got to tell you. Clock that. Trump says Section 8 is only for the disabled and the veterans.
So the Welfare Fraud Department of Bay County came back to my house this morning. 7 o'clock this morning, by the way. I don't know. Their hours freaking suck. For a Saturday, for food stamps. Anyways, so pretty much, I am facing 3 years in jail. Or $40,000 worth of welfare benefits I have to pay back. And I have 90 days to do it. There is no payment plan. They have financing that they have banks that they work with, and I can go through them, but they don't do payment plans themselves for this kind of situation. $40,000 in 90 days, or I face 3 years in jail. That includes food stamps, the cash assistance, the Section 8. I don't get any of those.
This post is for informational purposes only. Everything I say is alleged, okay? So I did a video, and my dog is going to be annoying, so sorry. I did a video on the Rich and SNAP EBT. I'm going to do a breakdown of the structure and incorporate Section 8, okay? So get a pen, get ready, write it down. You have a trust that is formed in a state that has strict privacy laws. Wyoming, for example. The trust theoretically should not be named after you. It should be named something totally different. You can choose whatever name you like. We're going to call this, in this example, Pineapple Revocable Trust, right? It can be irrevocable, which is a little bit more strict, but it's has more protection. So we're just going to say Pineapple Revocable Trust. Pineapple Revocable Trust is formed in Wyoming with strict privacy laws. So you can't find me if you wanted to. And it's not even my name. Then Pineapple Revocable Trust owns a holding company in Wyoming. Okay, we'll call that Apple Holdings. Okay, Apple Holdings is nothing more than an LLC. You just designate it as a holdings company. It does exactly that. It holds assets. Okay, so Apple Holding Company, owned by Pineapple Trust, right, in Wyoming, owns all of my rental properties, each in their own LLC. 123 Main Street LLC, 456 Main Street LLC, whatever the address is, it's not under my name, it's under the address of the LLC. My dog is chewing up. Now, these LLCs are under Apple Holdings, which is under Pineapple Trust. And they are, again, not named after me. And everything is held in this trust in Wyoming, right? Well, in holding company in Wyoming, owned by the trust in Wyoming. Again, privacy laws, right? So you'll never find the owner. Now, my business is owned by the holding company. 100%, right? It's 100% owned by the holding company, right? So it's 100% shareholder. I'm just an employee. I get paid as an employee of ABC Corp, owned by Apple Holdings, owned by Pineapple Trust, okay, or in Wyoming. I get paid, say, $10,000, okay, whatever the poverty threshold is. So now I'm an employee of ABC Corp, owned by Apple Holdings, owned by Pineapple Trust, which again, Apple Holdings owns the business, owns the LLCs that owns the properties. I'm an employee of ABC Corp. I own no parts. I get paid the poverty threshold, let's say $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is for that state, right? And my life insurance is under the trust. My car is under, the trust. Nothing is under my name. My primary residence is under the holding company. Okay, it's under Apple Holdings, right? So Apple Holdings owns the LLCs, it owns the business, it owns my primary residence, everything. My life insurance is under the trust, everything. Car under the trust, right? I'm an employee, so that's as much as I own is my wages, right? So now when I apply for things like Section 8, EBT, SNAP, I'm gonna get approved. So now I apply for Section 8. Section 8 approves me and gives me a voucher. The voucher is made out to the landlord. The landlord is Apple Holdings. Apple Holdings owns my primary residence. I don't. So now the Section 8 is paying for my primary residence via Apple Holdings. They don't know that I own it. To them, Pineapple Trust owns it, and it's all in Wyoming, which has strict privacy laws. Yeah. And so now my mortgage is being paid by Section 8. I'm just a tenant that receives wages from ABC Corp, which is owned by Apple Holdings, which is owned by Pineapple Trust. Disclosure, I do not collect Section 8. I do not collect SNAP EBT. I'm just giving you free game, okay? This is how it's done. Yes, is it immoral? Of course it is, but it's legal, right? I control everything. I own nothing, right? So that's where the term "so sue me" came from, because you can't get anything from the person. There was a young lady on this app who reported that her child's father is on Section 8, but he's part of a trust. He has custody of the child, and she has to pay him child support because of the income. And Section 8 is likely paying for property that he owns under the trust. Just a little bit of game for you. I hope this was helpful. Again, I'll reiterate so that you understand. Trust, Pineapple Trust, not in your name, in Wyoming, right? Strict privacy laws. Owns Apple Holdings in Wyoming, strict privacy laws. Owns your portfolio, your rentals, all under their own entity, right? These are all separate entities that own other entities. None of them under your name. It also owns your business. It also owns, your car, the life insurance, everything. And now the company that's under Apple Holdings, ABC Corp, is paying you as an employee. You make $12,000. You're a clerk or whatever have you, a secretary, an admin, and now you approved for Section 8. And Section 8 cuts the check to the landlord. The landlord is Apple Holdings, and now Section 8 is paying your mortgage. And they can't find you because nothing's in your name, and they can't find you because everything is in a state that has strict privacy laws.
Trump just announced that everybody who's 40 and under, he about to strip away their Section 8. If you're not on disability, if you're not a veteran, somebody who's been hurt in the service, some of that nature, if you don't have a problem like a mental disability or something like that, he taking you out. This is just what I heard, y'all. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to know what y'all thoughts are on it, because there's some people out who actually need it. I make jokes about this all the time, but for him to say, you know, that if you 40 and under, he gonna snatch away your Section 8 in your houses, I think that shit is preposterous, and I probably don't agree with it, man, to a certain extent, because it is a lot of people out here 40 and under that's going through it, man. You know, that's just was dealt a bad hand, no matter how hard they try, you know, and they just need a little push. I don't agree with people sitting on it for years, not by far. I don't agree with it. But I do want to know what y'all really think about it. If he's saying if you 40 and under, he's snatching you out Section 8, what does this mean for society? More robberies, more killings, more drug dealers? You know, let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Comment, like, share, repost. Follow my YouTube channel. Link in my bio.
Here's the one thing I wish I knew before I gave up my Section 8 voucher. That would have made me richer quicker. And I know you're thinking, who gives up Section 8? I did, because I was ignorant. By the way, my name is R.W. Jones, and they call me the Billionaire because I'm a brilliant millionaire in the making. But they also call me the Welfare Escape Artist because I help moms, number one, maximize their social service benefits while increasing household cash, all while avoiding their rent from increasing if they live in public housing and on Section 8. So if you're interested in that kind of content, be sure to click the button and follow me. So the one thing I wish I knew before I gave up my Section 8 voucher was the fact that because I received the voucher, I was also eligible for a program they call Section 3. Section 3 is a federal regulation that basically says if you are low income, and specifically if you receive any kind of housing subsidy, you are eligible for employment, training, and contracting opportunities and any other economic opportunities from from entities that receive HUD financial assistance. So these are entities like public housing, municipalities, cities who receive, block grants and things like that. See, when I was on the system, I felt trapped. They tell you to go to this program, do this, you got to do this. And the laws have changed significantly since then, because now you got to work and volunteer your hours for the check. You got to do this and that. And it was something inherently wrong. It was, it felt shameful. I was embarrassed. I was absolutely stifled. I couldn't breathe. I felt trapped. Okay, because it's like every time I took 2 steps forward, I was pushed 5 steps back. And I didn't like the fact that people treated me like I was some liar or some thief or I was hiding something. Every time I went in for my recertification, I had to give them all of this information time and time again, every single time. It's like, don't you have this from the last time I was here? They didn't care. They ran you through this merciless bureaucracy. Okay. And it was doing something to me. It was telling me that I wasn't worth much, that this was all that life had to offer. I tried to get out. People said, go to work. Well, working didn't work for me because every time I worked, what did they do? Ladies, they would take half of everything you had. They'd take half of your food stamps away. They're going to cut you off your Medicaid, right? And I thought, God, I'm just trying to move ahead. I'm just trying to, run this business or achieve this vision that you gave me. That's another thing. Just because I was poor didn't mean I didn't have vision. It didn't mean I didn't have a dream, for crying out loud. And what if someone would have just told me that in the beginning? So I understand there was this absolutely, it felt like a vicious cycle. It felt like a trap. It felt like you couldn't breathe. Okay. And all you wanted to do was get out. All you wanted to do was be free. And so you cannot say that I don't understand. Now, when I went into that office, had I knew that not only can you purchase a home with your voucher, but that you can also have access to employment, training, contracting opportunities. That someone will actually be there to help me build my business. I would have never gave up that voucher. I would have never. I struggled for no reason. So if you have a voucher, ladies, listen up. It's about 5 million of y'all in the United States of America with a voucher. And it's at least 3 million in public housing and at least another 5 to 10 probably on the waiting list. Don't quote me on those numbers, but some of y'all been waiting for 10 years for a voucher. That might not never happen. And so you either can keep waiting for someone to do something for you, or you can do something for yourself. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to this world of Section 3. It's the most empowering tool I've ever seen. And it's the starting point for all things self-sufficiency. So if you're trying to get off the system, if you're tired of being broke, if you want to build a viable business, you have got to check out Section 3. It's called the Economic Opportunities for Low-Income.
Y'all crying now about them food stamps, EBT or whatever you want to call it. But wait until they hit you with them Section 8, okay? Because Section 8 and food stamps, it's two different beasts, all right? You probably can go to the food pantry with the food stamps and get yourself some food probably for the month or something like that. But let me tell you something. When they shut off that Section 8, that's messing with everybody's money. Not only the people who's received Section 8, but when they don't receive Section 8, they can't pay their landlord. And their landlord have to pay other people. So when you stop paying the landlord, you leave the landlord no other choice but to rent to somebody who can pay the rent. You understand? I know too many people who also have rental property that rent their property out to the government. What's going to happen to them when they can't receive? Some of those people got mortgage to pay. They just only use the opportunity to rent their property out to the government. What's going to happen? When they don't receive their money, they got to pay their mortgage. They wasn't expecting that. And I know a lot of people who's made a life of just buying property and renting it out to the government and having the government to pay them for Section 8. What happens when all of that stops? What can they do? So Section 8 is a whole different beast. So you better hold on to something right now, because let me tell you something. When they start messing with that Section 8, and I understand because I really do believe that people need to divorce these government programs, because you see how is it going? And I understand economics a lot, why they do have to do certain things, because too many people got their hands in the pot, okay? And that's what's messing up the system right now. I understand how it goes, okay? But I'm just saying, when they hit that, when they start on that Section 8, that's going to hurt a lot of people, okay? Not just the recipient, the people who's getting the Section 8, but we're talking about the landlords. We're talking about investors. We're talking about a whole lot of people who's not going to get paid by the government starting January. Think about it.
I am on my way to deposit what is very likely my last Section 8 check, because with the government shut down, the public housing authorities have said, look, I don't got it. So what do you do if your tenants can't pay? And there is a good chance they can't, because look at how many people receive housing vouchers in every state in America. It's a lot. All right, let me pull into this bank before I stop and answer your question. In my last video about this topic, I gave you my whole process to figure out what to do in this particular moment in time.
Section 8, SNAP, and the shutdown.
I want to focus specifically today on rent relief. If your tenants cannot pay their rent, or you are a tenant who cannot pay your rent, I want you to Google your state and rent relief and see what pops up. And look at what I immediately get: information for the state, information for national relief, information for mortgage relief. Look, I'm finding stuff I wasn't even looking for. And it already gave me national programs and state-specific programs. Now I get county-specific programs. that only work for those particular counties. Now I get area specific programs that work for a number of different counties. Got a little action happening behind me a little bit. I'm going to save those numbers and then I'm going to call them and ask, hey, my tenant cannot pay for XYZ reason. Does that mean they still qualify? If yes, what is the application process? If no, I cross it off and keep going down my list. And then what's going to happen in their online payment portal, their rent ready portal, as they pay or as these programs pay out, I'm able to deduct from that month. So every partial payment that comes in from every program can be accounted for and tracked, which will also be important for me when I'm filing at the end of the year. And this is a super side note, but I and my bookkeeper need to remember who we're receiving all of this money from because we will be getting 1099s from these people. And we need to make sure everything is organized when we go to file our taxes in 2026. And if you think RentReady could help you with your organization, please don't hesitate to use my code to get 50% off your subscription for the year. And hopefully this helps you mitigate as much damage as possible for your tenants during this shutdown.
The Housing Choice Voucher Program, aka Section 8. That's what's going on in Texas right now. I had to do a little investigating because there's so many people moving to Texas and they're not people that's a part of the job force, y'all. It's not. And I find out through my private investigating that these people that's living in other cities can go online and find out who's offering this voucher program, and they will let them come here and live in these apartments that they building around here, live in these freaking 2- and 3-story houses that they building around here, and the government will pay for it, y'all. The government is paying for it because I've seen too many. Matter of fact, I saw this guy and he was walking to work and I picked him up and he was living in a big old house, man. A big old house. And he tells me, I'm like, damn, man, how much is your rent? He told me his rent was $3, y'all. $3 a month was his rent. Big old house. And if you got a kid, if you're pregnant and you got 4 or 5 kids, all you gotta do is find out where in Texas that they're offering these voucher programs, and they'll move you out here, give you a big old house, and put you on the voucher program, aka Section 8. That's why Texas is being flooded with people. Flooded. They're not coming here to work. They coming here on that damn voucher program. That's what's happening. That's what's happening, y'all.
So they drafted the rules and started the process of ending long-term Section 8. The rule will be you can be on Section 8 for no more than 2 years. In 2026, they're going to start sending out notifications to people on Section 8 that you have 60 to 90 days that Section 8 will no longer be available to you. So, if you're on Section 8, you might want to start considering what you're going to do, because look it up, Section 8 will no longer be a thing where a person can live in the house for years and years and years. Section 8 is built for short term and people in need. Granted, some people are disabled and they need it, but that's what they up to. They're getting ready to pull you Section 8. You won't be able to use it for more than 2 years. Comment and let me know if you have any questions.
Y'all, that's a lot to take in. With Section 8 not paying rent in December, people are scared. Honestly, I don't blame anyone because families don't know if their rent will be covered or if they're suddenly expected to pay the full amount. Landlords are worried too, wondering if they'll receive payments at all. Everything feels uncertain, and December is the last month anyone wants to be dealing with this kind of instability. But listen, whatever you're feeling, you are not alone. Share your thoughts in the comments and let me know what's happening in your area. Are people worried? Are landlords saying anything? The more we talk about it, the more that we can understand what's really going on. So thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate you being here. If this helped you, keep you informed, or even just made you feel a little bit less alone, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any updates. All right, y'all, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.